And pledge allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On behalf of the board, I'd like to welcome those on the Access channel that are watching us this evening. And also, let's see, I have one item of new business. And I would like to start off this evening with a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting on February 20th, 1996.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any errors or omissions or debate on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Opportunity for anyone to address us on items that are not on the agenda outside the rail. Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to communications from the mayor. We have an appointment to the redevelopment authority that was tabled on 2/20.
Move the table. Second.
Motion's been made and second. Debate. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries.
Move to circulate the ballot box.
Second.
Motion's been made and second to circulate the ballot box. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries.
Fast forward.
Huh?
We're going to fast forward.
Yep.
Right, my crazy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
bring it, we'll be coming in with a plan for the whole new meter reading system. We aren't the only ones having a problem. These are dinosaurs.
Right.
The new meter readers are what they call a touchpad meter, where it's a direct connection to the inside reader. There's no wire. You're actually reading the inside meter when you touch it. We're going to convert it.
Terrific.
This problem is going to go away.
I guess that's what I wanted to know, if this
Yes.
was something that was...
No,
maybe
this is
would
a
permanently-
short-term problem.
Okay.
Other questions? All in favor of the motion on the floor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All?
The committee then addressed water bill adjustments for an uncharacteristically high bill. Commissioner Connor explained that each quarter there are accounts whose meter readings indicate much more water use than normal. The use can be 2 or 3 times more than for any quarter going back several years. Generally, the next quarter is back to normal. Usually, the variation is explained by leaks, change in occupancy, or the fact that the time between billings is greater than usual. Following a discussion of the different ways to handle the situation presented by the Commissioner, the committee recommends that the water bill adjustments for uncharacteristically high bill would be billed based upon the actual water consumed as indicated by the meter reading. And I so move.
Second.
Any debate on the motion? Alderman Santosky.
I think this is a situation where there should not be a policy, and where the commissioner should have discretion to adjust these bills as is currently the way he is allowed to adjust them under our ordinances. And I say that only because if even a policy that seems as simple as this binds the commissioner in those cases when he really believes there's a reason he should give the homeowner a break. So I'd rather see the commissioner have the ability to do that. And for that reason, I think we should not make this policy.
Do you have a motion in mind, Frank, if I were to withdraw mine?
Don't think we'd need one. I think just voting against this would take care of it.
If I may, Ben, just to ask you a question, because I think I've been there, done that, so to speak. If you read, I had a problem with my own meter, so I'm just going to use that as an example, where my meter was read, my water bill was extremely high. I called, they came and read the inside meter, and there was a great discrepancy between my outside and inside, and my bill was adjusted. Because it showed that there was some malfunction in my outside meter.
Right. That was the last case.
Right. That's still the last case. But technically, it was an unusually high bill.
No, that would be covered under the remote register discrepancy.
Okay.
The usually high bill is usually 9 times out of 10 is a leak. They've got a running toilet, they got something leaking, and those, my policy has been always going to be if it went through the meter, you're going to get billed.
Well, if you had this, excuse me,
Go ahead.
if you had this policy in effect, what you would be doing is you won't get a chance to see that next bill, would you?
What this policy would say, if you got a high bill for other than a registered discrepancy, and the water went through the meter, you're going to get billed on what went through the meter.
Right.
Be it a leak or something in your...
That's what this policy is saying?
Yeah.
I agree with Frank, I think. Because we had that case in the past, not that many, but we had them where there was a fault. Maybe it was misread. Or,
Well, we did justice read that.
but something that happened that was not the customer's fault.
Right.
And in this case, what would have happened, I'm thinking of one particular, several years ago in Foster Place, and it was not the person's fault, and in this case, that person would have been billed, had to pay it. And what would be if this rule was passed, what would be the exception? I mean, how can I say it? What recourse would the customer have?
Well, basically probably the same recourse they'd have if I made the decision.
Well, this way they can come to you and you can make a decision where if this is passed, they've got to pay it. If you go by this rule, is that
Well, it's a policy, not a rule.
Policy.
I understand.
In other words, you can say, well, it's a policy, that's it. where now you can say, well, let's take a look at it and use your own judgment.
Well, with the policy, it would either, too. Go ahead.
Frank, and then Bob.
I think the difference is who makes the policy. I don't have a problem with Ben saying this is his policy, because if he makes the policy, he can change the policy, and if he thinks it's appropriate. If we make the policy, then he has to come back here to ask us to change the policy, and that's, I guess, what I think should be left in his hands as opposed to ours.
Bob?
I'd recommend we leave this in committee and review it again.
Is that a motion?
No, we got a motion, but that's part of
We're
the
on the original
debate.
motion still.
Any other comments or questions on the motion?
Yeah, so what you're saying, basically, Frank, if I read you right, is as far as the uncharacteristically high water bill, we just leave it up to the commissioner and have him, in a case-to-case basis, decide upon it?
Yes.
Alderman Morris.
Yeah, this is a policy that essentially Ben came to us and asked us to implement. And if he is satisfied with this policy, I personally feel it's fair enough that unless it is a problem between the remote and the mechanical meter, or if it's a reading problem, I say if it's gone through the meter, I agree with Ben, people get billed for it.
Can I defer to Ben?
It's fine with me if you want to say, just present this as my policy and you receive it and place it on file. Or under, or say, sounds good to us or something, just so I've got some, or this is way out of line, this is a lousy policy.
Alderman Gillum. Bill.
I'm still trying to figure this out. This last scenario, Ben, give me an example why you want this policy in place. Give me a scenario where this would come into play.
Customer calls up, or customer gets, the bills go out, the calls come in the next day. This bill is way too high, I couldn't possibly have used this much water. So we send a man out. He goes out and there's a toilet running or something, there's a leak, or he finds nothing. But the water went through the meter.
Like if someone washed their car every day for a month, they would have a high usage.
I don't have, people
Mom and
watching
Dad
the
didn't
house
know
to
about
see
it.
what they're doing.
Maybe they filled the swimming
But
pool.
they are convinced that they couldn't possibly use that much water. So I have to make a decision. I have to say, yes, this is your bill, or I'm going to adjust it because you're a nice person, or because I believe your argument that you couldn't possibly use that much water, even though the meter said you did.
Is that difficult for you to do? If that, I mean, you're discretionary at that point. Is that a difficult issue for you?
It would be a lot easier if I had policy. Because then I could say the policy of the department is this. It's not a personal thing.
Let's make it clear. Mr. President.
Because these are not all strangers that call up and say.
Right.
So Frank's idea here is to give more free hand to the commissioner and not set a policy, is what I'm understanding here.
Alderman Zandowski, Frank?
Well, no, because right now the statutes provide that the commissioner makes a decision in these cases. Based on that, he can make whatever policies he wants, and I don't have a problem with this policy or whatever policy he wants to make. What I'm reluctant to do is have the Board of Aldermen making policies for him so that people that have a case or a complaint will be coming here instead of the commissioner, because that's the result if in fact it's our policy as opposed to his.
Oh, if they did come here, we could simply refer it to him.
I was trying to accomplish the opposite, Frank.
I think maybe.
Still passing the buck. Well, this is what I'm concerned about. I don't want the buck being passed. I want the consumer being taken care of by the commissioner instantly, and none of this coming to us, baloney stuff.
And vote against the motion.
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Alderman Davis.
Paul, if I could suggest, and Frank, please interject if I'm not getting what you want, but I don't think the board generally has a concern about the wording of the policy, but doesn't want to be the policy maker. So possibly what we could do is give Ben the direction that we support the proposed policy, but leave the discretionary decision to him and make that the motion.
I'll remove my motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so noted. For the record. Frank, would you want to, or Sharon, reframe the motion?
Sure. I guess that I would move that the board give direction to the Commissioner of Public Works that it accepts the proposed policy on uncharacteristically high bills and leaves the discretionary decision to the Commissioner.
Second.
Does that cover it, Frank? Any other debate or questions of the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries.
That's all Public Works, Mr. Chairman.
Paul, do you have the finance committee report?
Yeah.
You want to do that now?
Sure.
Ready? Okay.
There's a joint Finance and Recreation and Parks Committee meeting. We met Wednesday, February 28th at the Dana Recreation Center. Members present were Alderman Davis, Casarino, Wilton, Telsky, Flores, and myself. Others were Ron Graves, Leif Dahlin, Henry Brislin, Fred Bever of the Rutland Herald, and Clark Potemski of the Vermont Achievement Center. The first order of business taken up was a proposal by Mr. Dahlin to seek the board's approval for putting in a luminary lighting system at Meadow Street Playground for the ball field area. The committee discussed the plan offered by Mr. Dahlin regarding funding and location to be paid for by user fees. Treasurer Graves explained how the lease program would work and was unsure of the legalities of the program. It was also discussed that White's Fund money could be borrowed from that trust to cover it, which is under the city's control and could possibly be accomplished, which means borrowing internally. The city could benefit from the interest income from the project. Alderman Zatelski moved, seconded by Alderman Davis, to recommend the full board approving going out to bid for this project and the subject remain in committee until legalities have been worked out, and I so move.
Second.
Motion and second has been made. Is there debate or questions of the motion? Alderman Casarino.
Yeah.
John?
It might be splitting hairs here, but it was also discussed that White's Fund money could be, I thought we were going to check to find out if it could be used.
Yeah, that's why that's part of it's leaving in committee. We're going to get that information.
Okay.
But we also discussed that meantime, we felt it was at least germane for the bids
Right.
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, no, I just saw the word, it was discussed that White's Fund money could be borrowed from the trust to cover it, and I was wondering if that had been found out. Is that possible or not?
I don't know, John. That's we're waiting.
This
for
sounds more
the
like a
next meeting.
statement to me than a question.
I see what you're saying. Now, with that, will be discussed at the next meeting.
Okay,
I think
thank you.
Lee's looking into that with Ronnie.
Any other questions of the motion? Bill?
The luminary system at the playground, it says paid by the users. Is that each group that comes in, puts money in
Softball.
a coin box? And
People that pay to get into softball leagues, the teams.
Oh, all right. Okay. So this is money that is collected by the superintendent from the political fund, am I correct?
Right.
All right.
Alderman Welton? Wendy?
I think when we were at the meeting, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, that the softball memberships, both out of town and in the city, go toward a maintenance fund, and it would be that money that would support this project. So it would not be tax revenue.
It was also, in a bill, the cost is supposed to be $43,000 if I'm not mistaken. And the fees collected from the teams and recovered along with this fund that Wendy's been talking about, was the fees were supposed to run to about $49,000 over a period of time.
So this is not a budget line item, this is fees collected to pay for services? Okay. Good.
Any other questions on the motion then? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries.
Second order of business was the Youth Center program. This is informational only. Mr. Dahlin explained the concept of how the program would work. Mr. Clark Potemski explained different aspects of why a youth center is needed, which would include job training, drug education, dances, etc. Recreation Department involvement was made clear that the Recreation Department is not the youth center. It would simply offer assistance. Additionally, the assistance would not come from financial assistance, in the form of financial assistance. Mr. Dahlin explained that grants could be available and that Mr. David Walk would be handling that area. Concerns were raised, however, with the past history of such teen centers and that they haven't worked, also that professional staff would be expensive. Mr. Potemski explained the strict rules which would be enforced to ensure safety to its members. Also that it would have its own board of directors, its status, and be a non-profit organization. The concept is based on one which is currently ongoing in Glens Falls, New York, and after the further discussion, the subject will remain in committee. The next order was the bequest from John Giorgetti's will to the city, and it was moved and seconded to recommend to the full board to approve the conditions as set forth in the, quote, conditions for fund for Giorgetti bequest, unquote, document, and establish a fund. And I so move, and I believe we all have a copy of that bequest attached.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any questions or debate on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
That's it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Paul. Moving on to community development, Alderman Gillum.
Yes, committee met last week, and the first item of business was the Clough Harbor Associates Depot Park design, a work order, or actually it was an extra work authorization change. This is part of the 3 changes that are going to be happening on the Spruce Street project, which the park is part of that project under that HUD money. And the amount is in your packet on page 9 in your packet. I believe it's for $14,500. And this is the second of 3 pieces that are going to be coming into us for extra work authorization to re-engineer the park, and I move for approval. Do we need, wait a minute, do we need the mayor's signature or move for approval and signature by the engineer, which would be Mr. Connors?
Second.
Second, and Alderman Davis.
I think error in your numbers, Bill. I think the request was $13,800.
$800, I'm sorry, that's correct, the bottom number.
Right.
Matt, you had your hand up?
Just to correct the number.
Okay, yep. Any questions of the motion that's on the floor? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Is that it, Bill?
Yes, that's it. The other issue was, we went into executive session to deal with the CV exit agreement, and that still remains in committee with more information to come.
Okay, thank you. Sam?
I just have representative stuff before you have committees, if you want to do the committees. And then
Any other committees reporting this evening?
No, Charter and Ordinance did meet, Mr. Chairman. We were dealing with the criminal and civil aspects of the ordinance, but there was no motion to come out of committee yet.
Okay. Any other standing committee reports? Hearing none, select committees. Sam?
Okay, just a couple of things, Mr. Chairman. I haven't reported on in a while that Marble Valley Transit, as people know, the transit center is going to have 628 parking spaces, and they started the land acquisition on that. Some of the goals set up for 96, maintaining the fare-free zone for the city fixed routes, increasing ridership, and further expand their service between Rutland and Killington. And those meetings have been ongoing with the Rutland Partnership about having buses from Killington to here, and then of course too on the Amtrak possibilities. If there's an Amtrak train, Marble Valley plans to integrate with that to help get the skiers and keep them shuttling so they can get down and shop and do all that. In the last year, over 30,000 rides to medical appointments, approximately 500,000 rides for area residents. It's offered access to jobs, community events, and volunteering programs, whatever. But the big news, Alderman Gillum gave me this, and I don't, you know it more than I do. It's about the transit center that, like next October, the funds will start to come out as was anticipated, and they'll be released on a monthly basis. And was it $1 million or $12,700,000 and something coming back to Rutland to be spent on the transit center? Is there anything?
Yeah, and the funds are being matched by federal, state, Department of Agency of Transportation, the City of Rutland match for $850,000, and then State Office Buildings is putting in $1.5 million. So the various amount of money coming from various directions to pay for the project. And we now have the spreadsheets how that funds are to be spent on the project. And it's my understanding they delayed the funds. Of course, it all depends on approval of the transportation budget. Is going to be deferred another year, but that will not stop the project starting in October. We have a letter from the Secretary of Transportation who's guaranteeing that this project will start on time, no matter how the funding works out. Apparently, instead of bonding for it, they're going to take it out of cash from the transportation budget to save some interest. So they got a concept up there as we pay as we go type concept. And they're going to save a lot of money on this project from the state point of view.
Okay.
And that's beginning in October.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Just the last thing, the buses will be running, the weatherman's predicting 3 to 6 inches of snow, but the buses will be running tomorrow. If anyone needs a ride, to call them, and they're public transit ready to serve people. That's all I have. The other thing, just to report, the last couple regional ambulance meetings have been on the same Tuesday nights we had to meet, so I wasn't able to go to them. But just that the call volume, 5,292 calls in the last year, it's a 500 call increase. So the ambulance has been very busy. They're up to 40 employees, 5 ambulances, and a paramedic vehicle, which is the Medic 1. They're now ordering 2 new ambulances for hopefully delivery this summer to replace 2 older ones. One's 6 years old, and the other one has well over 100,000 miles. And another thing people may not know, it's really neat, the doctors from the emergency room come over and train some of the paramedics and some of the people, and they recently had advanced cardiac life support, pediatric advanced life support, manual defibrillation, I don't usually mess that up, pre-hospital advanced trauma life support courses, and others have been taught right at the facility, so the doctors go over. And finally, they have scheduled a new, more advanced critical care paramedic course to enhance their ability to meet the needs of the Rutland Regional Medical Center for long-distance transfers. The course will be conducted during the month of April and teach specific advanced drug and patient care techniques for critical care transports. Over 400 long-distance transfers are made a year. Alderman Davis might know more about that, but what happens is it's been kind of a rough time for regional ambulance because some people are in such need of an RN that it's hard to get one off staff at the medical center to ride to Hanover, ride to Burlington. So that's what this critical care paramedic course is. It'll train the paramedics to be at I guess, I don't know if it's LPN or RN level, whatever, but it'll take some pressure off the medical center and offer somebody immediately to go care for a patient while they bring them. So those are a couple of things that they worked on the last couple of months that I wasn't able to be at the meetings, and I just wanted to pass those along too. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Any other select committee reports? Alderman Wilson.
Thank you. The Rutland West Steering Committee, which is comprised of local lenders that are cooperating as part of the City Housing Improvement Grant, which you probably haven't heard much about lately, is really getting underway at this point. They will have their first meeting this Wednesday, and we'll be reviewing among that team of lenders 3 different properties that are subject properties that are going to work into this grant proposal to upgrade those properties for code. I'll keep you up to date as that proceeds. The second thing I would like to talk about is the Redevelopment Authority met last week. The topic of discussion was the Paramount Theater. Representatives from the Paramount were there to talk about their view of their project and how things have changed. They have pared down the project in scope, feel that on a long-term basis that project will be more favorable financially than they thought probably a year ago. I would move that we consider this under community development, that we invite some folks from the Paramount to come in and talk about the future of their project with us in committee so that at least we can be informed about it. I so move.
Is there a second? Second. Debate, questions, the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you.
Bob?
Yeah, Rutland County Solid Waste District met last Wednesday night, February 28th, and we discussed a proposal by Dorman Brothers for a contract for transportation and disposal of sludge. And the second discussion was had about problems with the baler. It seemed that we had problems with the baler had been broken down, and that we've got it back into running form now, and it's putting out about 3 times what it did before. Okay,
Yep. Is that it, Bob?
that's it, yep.
Okay, thank you. Andy? Any other committee reports? Hearing none, let's move on to petitions, letters, communication. First one is from Larry Fusco, referencing the article of the fire department.
Refer to the mayor, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Motion to refer, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Act 250 documents that are in your packet.
Move to receive and place on file.
Second.
Motion been made and second, debate. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Motion to go into Board of Control Commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. We have a request from Tony and Nancy Enterprises Incorporated, catering permit.
I would move for approval of the request.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded.
Mr. President, just a little comment here before we vote on it. This is an opportunity that's going to be happening all summer long, and people in the city should be aware of it. They're going to have some excursion trains coming down from Middlebury to Rutland, staying here for a couple of hours and going back up. And I think this is a great opportunity for the downtown merchants and the Chamber of Commerce to get on board and do a better job of taking care of these excursions that come into town, since we didn't do a very good job the last time. The Massachusetts Bay Railroad enthusiasts who came here with 600 people, we didn't do a pretty good job. Stores weren't open, things like that. I think that people should be aware that this is going to be happening this summer and start accommodating these people who come into the area by rail.
I just think it's rather funny. We got these people coming, we don't even know who they are. There's not even a name on there. Just a business name. Yes, who it is.
It's Tony Neary, who owns the big vending company in Middlebury.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. It doesn't say it on here, does it?
It just has his company name, yeah.
Tony's and Nancy, yeah. Angelina's Restaurant.
I did change it. It did say all of the Vermont rail system, which we don't have the authority to authorize.
I think we have the authority in the city, right?
Yeah, I see that.
It also says not more than 5 days unless specifically authorized for the Liquor Control Board. And they're asking from May to October.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the Liquor Control Board is going to put some requirements on this permit. We also have the power to do that here too.
Sam?
Same questions are coming up, maybe the Alderman Gillen can answer this. Does it necessarily have to be a Middlebury liquor license that's on that? I mean, are there any...
Well, it can be any catering license. Basically, they're just covering the railroad cars that these people are consuming alcohol, and they have to stay in the railroad cars. They can't walk out of the railroad cars or into the whatever terminal, wherever they're getting off board. The alcohol has to remain on the railroad cars, so they can't walk around.
Right, but my question is, if you don't mind me asking the question, if the railroad car is parked in Rutland for 2 hours, someone from Rutland can go sit on the railroad car and have a drink?
Yep, it's considered a rolling bar.
So my question is, we're given a permit for a Middlebury restaurant to come in, take a couple hours of business, and drive away, is that right?
That's correct.
That's what Mr. Gillen was getting at when he said that maybe some of the local people would take advantage of it.
Yeah. I mean, allow the guy to come in, do a couple hours of business, and drive back up the track.
Just remember, the railroad company is from Middlebury, so obviously there's a connection there.
Does this need to be approved tonight?
No.
I just didn't know if we'll catch that
You
from
can send it to
somebody,
me.
because we didn't,
So I move to table
Refer to committee.
or refer to committee?
Mr. Chairman, may I ask
Yes,
a question? The clerk brings up a good question, and that is about these dates that go for 5 months, and this thing says 5 days. In a case like that where somebody wants an ongoing thing, Rosemary, are you trying to say that the Liquor Control Board will make a determination whether or not they should have a license in Rutland? Or,
No, this says the catering permit is good for 5 days unless authorized for longer by the Liquor Control Board. It doesn't give you the option.
I mean, I guess I'm wondering, it just seems like it's contradictory, but it's all right for someone to apply like this for a long period of time, even though their use may be intermittent.
I've never seen it
I
before.
guess that's what I'm asking. Okay. So if we approve it tonight, this is subject to review by Liquor Control?
Liquor Control.
Is that correct? Okay, all right, that answers my question.
They still need to go to the state control to deal with
This
it.
just goes from here to the state.
Right.
Okay.
Any other questions of the motion to approve? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries.
That's why I thought you were doing.
Okay, report, motion to go out of control, commissioners.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Reports, letters from department heads and officials. DPW Commissioner grant application for bridge repair.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or debate? Ben is outside the rail. I'm sure he'd be glad to explain what this is about. Is there any questions?
We should include in that, I think, Dave, to authorize signatures.
Just for the highway commissioners, is that?
Yeah.
The 8 signatures?
You need the Board of Aldermen signature for President's signature.
No, you're authorizing the Board of Highway Commissioners
Right.
to apply.
Any questions or debate?
I just need to know what bridges they are. It just says East Creek, they obviously must be all three of them.
The Grove Street Bridge up by the Country Club and the West Street Bridge over East Street.
Oh, okay. Is the Grove Street Bridge, is that a shared thing between Rutland Town and us, or is that bridge?
We own the whole thing.
Okay.
Any other questions? Debate? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And the third request, the DPW Commissioner designated agent for federal assistance.
So moved.
Second.
Debate, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Unfinished business. Hearing no unfinished business, new business.
Mr. President?
Miscellaneous motions, yes, Alderman Lawrence.
Yeah, past couple weeks I had some concerns about Center Street Alley, and I'd like to refer the subject of its disposition to the Recreation Committee, since it's owned by the Recreation Department.
Second.
Okay, any debate, questions of the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any other new business? Alderman Grusso.
David, I just want to, I guess I can get a consensus from some of the debate on that liquor license thing Bill and I were just talking. Did we want to refer that to committee because we can reconsider it? No, we got debating it so long, I didn't know. Like he didn't, on the motion. I don't know, I just don't know if we want to reconsider it and put it in committee. Okay, everybody's happy with it, that's all?
Yeah, I just have some questions, that's all.
Yeah. Okay,
I think the point was well taken to Bill made, and give some other people a chance to look at it.
Okay.
Other new business, I do have one item that came in late. It's addressed to myself, no one else got a copy of it. It's from Richard Brothers. It's a request to the Board of Aldermen, directed us that, to look at our intent to place a Lincoln School property on market for sale. And they'd like to know, and get our opinion, I guess. They'd like to, it is our hope and desire to complete a sale that will place the property on the tax-paying list as the bottom line. So it's going up for sale, but they'd like our input into it, and I'd like probably to refer this committee so we can get a chance to talk with them about how this is going to happen.
I was just thinking community development, let's refer to community development.
Second.
Second.
Had some,
Okay?
just
just to add to that, I've talked to some people around like City Hall and all that, you know, there are a lot of things going on in downtown that could be affected, like, you know, if downtown gets busy or something, maybe make an agreement with like the owner of the bar goal to help out and, you know, get some of those people that come in complaining that it's noisy with the liquor licenses or something, make like apartments there or something, if they so desire, and those who want to stay downtown would, but, I don't know, people brought up, I think it's a good idea in community development.
Paul? That's fine, I just had another comment after.
Okay. So all in favor of the motion, refer to community development, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Paul?
Just a couple of things. The Recreation Committee will be meeting on the 13th next week to discuss the Raha matter. And also, I just want to wish all the candidates here that are up, I want to wish them good luck, and I hope to see them back in these seats after the election.
Thank you. Thank you. Alderman Gillum?
I have an item of new business. The city attorney just handed me a document just now that I'd like to refer to community development, that Chuck Weigingham, is that how you pronounce his name? Weigingham, I'm sorry, wants to, the mayor to authorize the agreement to purchase the property and to take the money and put it in escrow for that recreational, I don't know, facility in the back, I guess would be what we call it. And he wants to close on the deal as soon as possible, so I'd like to send this off to community development.
What property?
I believe it's called
The Poor Front property.
Poor Front property.
On Woodstock Avenue.
Woodstock Avenue.
Your motion is to refer to
Second.
Community development.
motion made and second. Any debate? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Any other business to come before this board? Alderman Grosso.
Just a quick question, Alderman Davis, you're on the traffic committee. I see Norm King's name mentioned. I've had a couple of meters in the past that couldn't put any money in because they wouldn't work, they were full. And I went down to DPW and talked to Norm, and he says that the police department guy there's not emptying them. Yeah, they're not emptying them fast enough, and that's his problem, most of the meter breakdowns. And I didn't know if we need a board motion or if I just asked you to, it's happened like it happened at the barber shop in front of Wilson's camera like a few weeks ago. I went, everything was full of money, and you couldn't get it to work. So I just want to pass it on, it's not getting done.
Refer.
Okay, thank you.
Any other business to come before the board? Motion is in order to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much.
Good luck, everybody.
Thanks, John.